Beginning, the human in the palace. I had traveled across galaxies before, but nothing could have prepared me for Zyra Prime, the home planet of the Alien Empress Vela. Her palace was a structure unlike any I had seen. Towers of crystalline metal reflected the emerald skies, and energy fields shimmered in colors that made my eyes ache with awe. I was a human ambassador, sent to discuss a potential alliance between Earth and Zyra Prime. But as I walked through the grand halls of the palace, I realized that diplomacy would be far more complicated than I imagined. The guards moved silently, their limbs elongated, their eyes glowing gold. Every corner of the palace radiated authority, and in the center, upon a dais of shimmering light, sat the Empress Vela herself. She was tall, regal, her skin a pale violet, her hair floating gently as if underwater. Her eyes, deep amber, scanned the room like twin suns. I had heard tales of her beauty and power, but nothing had prepared me for the intensity of her presence. My chest tightened, my voice caught in my throat. I had to speak carefully. The first glance. When the Empress finally noticed me, she studied me with a gaze that felt like it could pierce through my very thoughts. "Human," she said, her voice smooth but commanding. "You dare enter my palace without permission?" I am here as a diplomat," I stammered, bowing slightly. "I come with respect and an offer of alliance." She raised a single, delicate hand, and the guards around her froze. "Speak then. But be concise. I have little patience for fools." As I stepped closer, my eyes met hers. And in that moment, a strange thought slipped through my mind, unbidden. She is beautiful. I couldn't stop myself. The words left my lips before I could think. "You're beautiful." The Empress's reaction. The Empress blinked. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, her body trembled. Her eyes widened, and the energy field around her shimmered as if reacting to her sudden emotion. No one had ever said such a thing to her. In centuries of ruling, countless beings had bowed, offered gifts, pledged loyalty, and even flattered her for political gain, but none had ever spoken honestly about her beauty. What did you just say?" she whispered, her voice barely audible. I meant what I said," I replied, my heart racing. "You are truly beautiful. Not just in appearance, but in presence. In everything about you." The Empress's hands trembled slightly. She seemed unsure how to respond, her usual composure faltering. I could see a flicker of vulnerability in her eyes, something I had never expected from a ruler who controlled entire star systems. The guards shifted uneasily, sensing the tension in the room. But I didn't care. For the first time, the walls of power and distance seemed to fall away, leaving only her and me. A moment of silence. She remained silent for several heartbeats, as though the words themselves had disarmed her. Then, she stepped down from her dais and walked toward me. The palace floor reflected her every movement, and the air seemed to hum with energy. "You have no idea what you've done," she whispered. "I only spoke the truth," I said. Her eyes softened, a rare emotion flashing through her amber gaze. No one has ever said that to me," she murmured. I swallowed, realizing the gravity of the moment. I had not just complimented her. I had breached the gap between ruler and subject, power and vulnerability. And yet, it felt as if an invisible bond had formed between us. The challenge, politics and danger. Despite the intimate moment, the palace was a place of intrigue and danger. Empress Vela ruled with unmatched power, but rivals within her court constantly sought her favor and, sometimes, her downfall. She gestured for me to follow her into a smaller chamber, away from the guards. "If word of this reaches the wrong ears, it could spark political chaos," she said, her voice steady but low. "You have disturbed the balance. Tell me, human, do you understand the consequences of your words?" I understand," I replied. But I did not speak to harm. Only to acknowledge what is true. She studied me for a long moment. Then, with a sigh, she said, Perhaps there is more to you than I expected. You are bold, human. Recklessly bold. I will take that as a compliment, I said with a small smile. The Empress allowed herself a brief, almost imperceptible smile. Very well, she said. I will grant you an audience, but you must prove that your words are not mere flattery. You must show courage, wisdom, and loyalty. Proving courage. Over the next several days, I faced trials in the palace. I navigated the complex politics of Vela's court, negotiated disputes between alien factions, and even survived a sabotage attempt in the palace corridors. Each challenge tested my skill, patience, and integrity. Throughout it all, the Empress watched quietly, her amber eyes observing my every move. Sometimes, she offered subtle guidance, other times, she simply tested my resolve. Each time I succeeded, she seemed lighter. The rigid authority softened ever so slightly, replaced by a spark of curiosity, trust, and perhaps even admiration. The bond deepens. Finally, one night, the Empress summoned me to a balcony overlooking the city. The twin moons of Zyra Prime glowed in the sky, bathing us in soft, silver light. You have passed the tests, she said quietly. Not because you followed rules or impressed the court, but because you acted with honesty, courage, and heart. I looked at her, and without thinking, said again, You're beautiful. More than words could ever describe. For a long moment, she simply stared at me. Then, she stepped closer. You are different, she whispered. Most see me as power, as fear, but you see me as I am. My chest tightened. I see you as you are. Not the Empress. Not the ruler. Just you. Her eyes shimmered with unspoken emotion. And yet, it terrifies me. I will not harm you, I said. I only want to understand. To know you. To honor you. The Empress trembled again, though this time it was not from shock. It was something softer, warmer vulnerability that no one had witnessed in centuries. Ending a new understanding. From that night, a quiet bond formed between us. It was not love in the traditional sense, not yet, but something stronger, forged through honesty, courage, and mutual respect. The Empress no longer regarded me as merely a human diplomat. She saw me as an equal, someone capable of seeing through the veneer of power and into the core of her being. I never imagined someone could say such things to me, she admitted, her voice low and vulnerable. And yet, I am grateful. You don't have to be grateful, I said softly. I only speak truth. For the first time, the Empress smiled fully, a radiant, rare expression that lit her features and softened her aura. Over the following weeks, our interactions changed. We spoke openly, shared stories of our worlds, and found humor in unexpected places. She allowed me insight into her life, her struggles, and her loneliness as a ruler. In turn, I shared the human perspective, our hopes, and our fears. And always, in quiet moments, the words echoed between us, You're beautiful. Not as a compliment, not as flattery, but as acknowledgement of truth and presence. The palace, once a place of fear and distance, became a place of understanding and connection. The Empress, though still powerful and commanding, trembled no more when faced with honesty. And I, a simple human, discovered that even in the vastness of the galaxy, courage and sincerity could bridge worlds, hearts, and destinies. The stars above Zyra Prime seemed to shine brighter, as if celebrating the bond formed that night, a reminder that true beauty is recognized not through fear or power, but through honesty, respect, and courage. And so, in the shadow of her throne, under the glow of twin moons, the human and the alien Empress began a journey of trust, understanding, and the quiet possibility of something greater, a connection that defied tradition, expectation, and the weight of centuries.